Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Has anyone ever did or said something and you were like, wait, why did I say or do that? Have you ever had a Freudian slip? Well, welcome, Curios, to the Curio Storyteller, where we take books from yesterday, we, cosplay the characters within, and then we yell, shout, and give advice to them in hopes that they'll have a better tomorrow or a better sequel in their book. We're going to put Oreo Jr. back there. And for today's book, we're reading Sinclair Smith, Dream Date. And let me give you a little recap, and then we're going to get into the rest of our story. And we're going to try to make the unconscious conscious. So what's been going on previously is we have Katie. She's our main character. She just turned 17 and her teen years just were not the way she thought they should be. She thought she should be dating, she should be popular, she should be having a good time. None of it happens because she moves frequently. So she gets to a new school, she's wishing and hoping and praying for a boyfriend. And who answer her call? Scott, who answers her call?
Yeet.
Oh, he comes into her dreams like Freddy Krueger on drugs. It's a mess, honey. Heath is annoying. He's trashy. He's crash. He needs to be put in handcuffs. He needs to be put in solitary confinement. And at first, she's with it, but then she's not when she starts having an awake life that is really phenomenal and fun. So we're exploring Heath trying to take over Katie's life through her dreams. Did I miss anything, Scott?
No.
Okay, guys, well, let's get into it and see how Heath is making her unconscious life and now her conscious life horrific. You ready?
I'm ready.
Chapter 37. Katie looked down at Jason. Jason is our boyfriend, by the way, y'all. Ooh, Jason, my boo. Jason's our boo. Sleeping in his hospital bed. His expression was calm and peaceful, almost serene. She couldn't help thinking, he's so still, he almost looks like he's. Girl. Mm-mm. Katie fought against the thought. Stop being ridiculous, she told herself. He's not going to unalive. The nurse told you over and over that his condition wasn't critical. He just needs time and rest. She smoothed the hair on Jason's forehead. He can't get you here, she whispered. At least not yet. I'm sorry, Jason, she murmured softly as she continued to stroke his hair. There was so much she wanted to say to him. If only she could. Katie walked across the room and pushed the door gently closed. The bed beside Jason's was empty. Now Katie was alone with him. Okay, girl, what you gonna do with Jason now that you alone? Ooh, gonna get funky. Katie pulled a chair close to Jason's bedside. If only you could hear me, Jason. I feel like this is all my fault. I should have made you stay away from me. Okay, I got a question for y'all. We got to pause for the questions.
Mm-hmm.
What if Jason was laying there awake the whole time, just hoping she would leave? What do you think he's thinking? And she's sitting here saying all this old foolishness. He probably like this shit crazy. As soon as I get out this hospital, I'm breaking up with her so I can get with the Curio Storyteller.
Oh.
Mm.
Wow.
Why didn't I? I knew the kind of things Heath is capable of. She sat back in a chair. If I can't put a stop to him, her lower lip trembled. She cried.
No, wow. It's a lot of lips trembling.
No, it's just her lower one.
Mm.
It's trembling so much it's making the top one tremble too. You'll have to stay away from me. If I can't put a stop to Heath, I won't be around anyway, a little voice said inside her head said. Sitting in the hospital room beside the sleeping Jason, Katie began to cry as she had not cried in a long, long time. Girl, sometimes you gotta have that good cry. Great heaving sobs wrecked her body. Her tears fell to the floor, making little damp puddles. The horror of the situation was wearing on her terribly, she knew. Her life was a constant battle not to give in to overwhelming terror. Oh, girl. Oh, girl. Ooh. Finally, the sobbing stopped, probably because she was dehydrated. Katie sat quietly for a moment, composing herself. She told herself that she mustn't even think of being beaten, not when she had the tiniest spark of life of herself left. Then Katie got up and slowly put on her coat. I gotta go, Jason, but I'll see you soon. She thrust her tin up with determination. You'll see. I'll get rid of Heath. He'll be nothing, nothing but a bad dream. She tried to smile. Do I look like I'm trying to smile?
Sure.
When this is all over, it'll be just like it never happened, except for all of the hospital bills and all the pain meds you're going to have to take, Jason. We'll go out all the time and have lots of fun. She knew she was babbling and felt her eyes starting to tear again. She fumbled for the door handle. Yeah, girl, you better get out of there before you shrivel up like a raisin, girl. You know you dehydrated from all that snot bubbling and crying. The feeling that rushed over her body stopped her dead in her tracks. There was a dull throbbing in her head, but the pain was minor compared to the violent nausea that flooded her body. Girl, you pregnant? He got you pregnant, girl. What happened, girl? Why you nauseous? Katie could almost feel the vomit rising in her throat. Ugh. She pressed her hands to her throat. Her lips were forcing themselves open, but she wasn't throwing up. When this is all over, Jason, we'll ditch her and have some really wild times. Katie put her hand over her mouth. She couldn't stop the gush of words that issued forth in a deep, rasping voice. Uh-oh, girl, it's Heath. She wanted desperately to run, but she couldn't move. Even if she'd been able to, there was no way she could risk leaving the room. She couldn't let anyone in the hospital hear her talking like this. Katie struggled to regain control. The feeling of nausea made her almost swoon. The thought that the voice she heard came from inside her own mouth made her sick all over again. She knew that voice. It was Heath. Mm. We'll get together and find some real fun chicks. This one's Dolesville. I would have cussed him out in his own voice, but that's just me, y'all. I've never been told I was nice. Katie whirled and faced the mirror. For a moment, she saw her face, red and contorted. She wore an expression of pure terror. Let me give you an expression of pure. Do I look like terrified?
So terrified.
I felt terrified.
Mm-hmm.
Then the terror was replaced by something even more frightening. For a horrifying instant, Katie wasn't staring at her own reflection anymore. The face that stared back at her from the mirror was Heath Granger's. Girl, break the mirror. We'll get to be real pals soon, you and me, Jason. I think I can liven you up a bit. We'll have such terrific times, you won't even notice little Miss Goody Two Shoe has gone. Well, I'll be seeing you. Katie felt weak. She leaned against the door and took several deep breaths. Thank goodness no one had heard her. Her eyes darted around the room. Of course, no one was there. Only Jason, who was still sleeping peacefully. Bending over the side of the sink in Jason's room, Katie rinsed her mouth out with soapy water. Okay, girl, you rinse your own mouth out like you had cursed yourself. You ain't use your parents. Period. She would have preferred mouthwash, but she didn't mind the soap. Anything was better than the taste of Heath's voice. She rinsed her mouth out again and again with plain water and finished by drinking a glassful. Then, ever so hesitantly, she raised her eyes to the mirror that hung above the sink. Her own clear blue eyes stared back at her. The reflection was of Katie's own face, pale, drained of color, but still her own. Okay, girl. She sighed with relief. It was amazing. She had thought Heath couldn't come up with any more terror for her that was worse than what he had already done. How she was wrong. He was getting stronger and stronger, she knew. She waited several minutes before leaving the hospital room. She wanted to make sure Heath was gone. Girl, he ain't never gone. Heath a loser. He ain't got no job. He ain't got nothing going on. Girl, he ain't going nowhere. When Katie was absolutely certain it was safe, she stepped out into the hospital corridor. What had happened inside Jason's room seemed even more bizarre in the cold, bright light of the hallway. Doctors and nurses, clad in white, strolled or hurried along. Some chatted with each other, looking so relaxed, so normal. Katie was almost afraid to leave all this bright, bustling activity. Girl, go check yourself into the mental health. Do inpatient. I'm sure they'll help you get rid of heat. As she walked out into the night air and down the front stairs, there was only one thought in her mind. When would Heath be back? Girl, never if you take a stun gun into the dreams, but that's just me. Chapter 38. The day following Heath's latest appearance, Katie received word that Jason's condition had worsened unexpectedly.
Uh-oh.
He had slipped into a coma. How, Sway? How the hell, sir, you had a broken rib and a concussion. How did you slip into a whole coma? Like, how did you slip into the coma, sir? How, Sway? How? Like, girl, what? This is crazy. It's just like he's bike blowing up. Like, girl, what? These are extreme measures. Though Katie tried to reason that it couldn't possibly be Heath's doing, she couldn't be sure, and her state of mind declined sharply. Oh, girl, told you should have checked into mental health, girl. You should have been an inpatient. 5150 yourself, girl. 5150. Her nerves were taut, scratched to the limit. Katie could feel the pressure of Heath's steady, demanding insistence for control. His voice came out of her mouth more and more often, and without any warning except for a dizzying sense of impending nausea immediately preceding the incident. Your body trying to reject him, girl, you retarded. Katie herself had no idea what the words would be until she heard them echoing in her ears. Of course, she knew it was only a matter of time before someone heard the grotesque utterances. Then the day finally arrived. Should I go in? Katie wondered as she stood in front of the supermarket. I always shop here, so all the clerks know me. Girl, go to Walmart. I wouldn't be in my normal grocery store. Girl, go to Walmart. If Walmart even exists at this point, girl, go to Walmart. They used to people saying any old thing, any old way. Girl, it wouldn't matter. They used to that. Go to Walmart. What's the problem here? You over at Whole Foods when you should be at Walmart, girl. Anyway, sorry. What if something happens? It would be so embarrassing. Katie hesitated, fidgeting from one foot to the other in front of the supermarket. She turned to go away, but finally turned again and charged through the front door. That was a mistake. The incident happened when Katie was in the checkout line. She stood still while the pudgy, round faced clerk, whose name tag said Jimmy, counted the bill she handed him. Jimmy was a very careful fellow, Katie remembered. She'd been in his checkout line quite a few times when she shopped at the market. She watched Jimmy take each bill and turn it so it faced the same as all the others in the pile. Oh, yeah, he an A-type. Yeah, child.
Yeah.
Me. Oh, I just showed them bills in there, honey. The manager could take care of all that. They ain't paying me. That's above my pay grade, is what I would say. Then he smoothed and straightened each bill before easing it into the drawer. Okay. The sudden sick feeling in her stomach set off a warning bell in Katie's head. Girl would have ran to Walmart, where they're used to this. She knew what was coming, and she knew it was too late to do anything about it. Come on, Tubby. Give me the change and make it snappy. I hadn't got all day to stand here and watch you diaper dollar bills. The words came out like bones splintering through a meat grinder. Jimmy looked at Katie as if he had seen her head do a 360-degree turn and vomit green slime. You kind of did, girl. What, like, you over here cursing this man out because he want to sit up here and take his time with these dollar bills. Some time that really I wouldn't be taking, but whatever. It's Jimmy. Anyway, back to the book. She ran out of the grocery store without the groceries or her change. Girl, you should have waited for your change. The damage was already done. Now you double damaged yourself by not getting your change. After that, Katie grew more and more afraid to be around people. She shopped in stores where no one knew her. Girl, go to Walmart. Each morning, as she struggled to open her eyes, her first thought was, should I go to school? As it happened, the first time he spoke at school was not nearly so bad that as it could have been. It was Raquel's sense of humor that made the difference. F's in the chat for Raquel. Hearts in the chat for Raquel, because Raquel is like the best friend ever. I want a friend like Raquel. Katie swore she would never forget the day. She and Raquel were in a cafeteria. Katie had maneuvered them to a secluded table, claiming she was concerned about Jason and didn't want to have to make small talk with a lot of people. Anyway, it was true. Hey, pal, pass the mustard over here, huh? Was spoken with Katie's lips, but in Heath's deep, sandpapering tones. Wow! Raquel nearly spit out a piece of bread in surprise. That's terrific. Do you have any other voice? Or do you have any other voices? Katie wanted to hug Raquel for not acting horrified or treating her as if she was insane. She wanted to hold on to every minute with Raquel that day. She knew it might be the last time they had together for a long time. Maybe forever. Soon, Katie knew the gag would wear thin. She didn't do any other voices. She couldn't predict what things Heath might say. Now, Katie decided it was the time to go home and stay home. She wasn't coming back to school again. That's the end of the chapter, y'all. Okay. Sorry, y'all. So the question, y'all know how we end this. Sorry. Y'all know how we end this. I'm gonna end it with a question. Okay. And you know what? I'm gonna add something outside of the question.
Okay.
Katie should have told. Katie should have told. I would have told Raquel, like, girl, I got this demon. He on me. His name Heath. He was in the yearbook. I would have just told and confessed. That would have been me. I would have been telling Jason. I would have been telling them doctors. I would have been telling, because again, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will still you'll think it's fake. Girl, I would have been up in there telling. I would have been up in there telling, but that's just me. Okay, now for the question. What do you think would have happened if Jason had not slipped into a coma, which is just unlikely and improbable, but instead would have heard Raquel doing them weird, or I'm sorry, not Raquel, Katie doing them weird voices? Y'all put it in the chat. What do you think Jason would have did if she was just up there like, "Hey Tubby, give me some of your meal from the hospital.
Yeah, probably think she's wacko.
Give me some of your fruit cup."
I think she's crazy.
Y'all put it in the comment section what y'all think would have happened. I think he would have liked it. Jason seemed like he a little freaky. That's why he took her to dinner, that expensive dinner.
Well.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Well, we're gonna end it here. I know it's a anticlimactic ending because I'm sad. We're almost done with this book. We only got two. We'll be done Sunday with this book. So I'm sad. I'm low key sad that we're almost done with this book. I've had fun. Okay. Yeah, it's been a fun ride with Heath and Katie, you know. But we're gonna end it here. So as always, guys, we enjoyed having you guys hang out with us and do a little curio story time with us. And hopefully you guys enjoyed hanging out with us. If you guys could make sure you like, share, subscribe, check out some other live shorts, videos, all that fun stuff. Make yourself at home on this channel, honey. It's for the weirdos, the curios, and everything in between. And with that, we're gonna bid you guys adieu. So from wherever we are, even when we are, at the grocery store, when we at Whole Foods, when we really should have been at Walmart, making weird, strange voices that are not ours and offending people, to wherever you guys are, peace, love, and happiness. We'll see you guys tomorrow for It's a Super Scary Saturday Sleepover, and our next to last 2 chapters of Dream Date. So with that, I want to bid you guys adieu. Good night, guys.
Good night.